Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Sunday, February 19th, 2023, and in the headlines, the death of comedian and actor Richard Belzer at age 78. The news comes from his comedian friend Bill Sheft, who reported his last words were F.U.M.F. And I suppose that is a comedic ending, but it's also just like, who would really say that as their last words? And did he say that going out from a natural disorder, or did Sheft put something in his drink? Anyhow, as I've said before, if you're a comic, you definitely want to know Gematria. I've been talking about the same thing literally for the last 2,010 days. And the reason I know it's 2,010 days is because I just looked it up. I caught on to this pattern back on the date August 19th, 2017. That was the day I first had this revelation about celebrity deaths and how often the pattern happened to comedians. It applies to all of the people in the world of entertainment, but comedians seem to get the short stick more often than not. And I caught it the day that Dick Gregory died. So I've been talking about this ever since the day Dick Gregory, who was also a comedian, died, who passed August 19th, 2017. That was 287 weeks ago. It's been a long time educating about this. But anyhow, Gematria. There's a song out there, Gematria, the killing name. There's another song out there, Murder by Numbers, where killing's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. There's another story out there, the ABC murders. There's a date that comes up once a month that we refer to as the kill date, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But I'll show you what comedians have to do with the word kill in the language of Gematria and why this pattern is so persistent. First of all, Richard Belzer's dead at 78. And notice his name in Gematria equals 78. If you're new here, there's 4 ways to decode a word that we focus on: the alphabetic order in reverse, and then the 2 orders using numerology. His name equates to 78 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse and use numerology. Keep in mind he's dead on a Sunday, and he's dead in France, which is the land of the Jesuits, who are responsible for the language, the calendar, and all of these rituals being in sync as they are. But notice how Sunday and Jesuit are the exact same with the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, and the reverse alphabetic order, 84, 21, 78. Again, he's dead on a Sunday. And his full name is Richard J. Belzer, which also equals 84, corresponding with Sunday and Jesuit, just like 78. He probably wishes whoever was doing the calculation could have given him 6 more years. But anyhow, no accident he's gone at this day. It's like John Thompson, the first black coach to win the college basketball championship. He did it with Jesuit Georgetown. He died on a Sunday at age 78 on a 78 date numerology. He won that championship with Jesuit Georgetown in 84. You'll see these numbers come a lot together in this study. I should say come together a lot in this study. So, he died 199 days after his birthday. That's the 46th prime number. Sacrifice equals 46. Genesis 46 begins with the sacrifice. Of course, that's the first book in the Old Testament, which is Jewish, like Gematria is, like Richard Belzer is. And the thing about the kill date, it comes up once a month, and it's because the date numerology equates to 64 and 44. And the word kill equals 44 when you run the alphabetic order forwards, 64 when you run it in reverse. The word comedian equals 64 when you run the alphabetic order forwards, 44 when you run it in reverse. So kill and comedian have that in common. And quite frequently when the kill date comes around, we're talking about dead comedians. R.I.P. to all of them. Today's also 64 days after Pope Francis's birthday. He's dead in France. Again, he's the first Jesuit pope. These are Jesuit rituals. As we see time and time again, these people have a connection in history. Their first remembered work so often has the gematria of 64 or 44. In the case of Belzer, his first film was The Groove Tube, which equals 64. And now here he is dead on the 64 date numerology, 64 days after the Pope's birthday. Most recently, he's remembered for Law & Order SVU, the character he plays, Detective Munch. And today is the 50th day of the year. Again, it's been a day of 50s in the news. The mass shooting in Memphis, The club name where the shooting is equals 50. In the UK, they've supposedly found the woman's body, Nicola Bolli, whose name equals 50. Again, you can see the videos I've already put out on that today. But now we have the actor from Law and Order SVU, which is 50, dead on this day. And it's funny, I just, on YouTube, I just typed in Richard Belzer, 1978, to see what would come up. And he did have a comedy special that year, in light of him dying at age 78. And this is a clip of it. I put it in my post if you want to check it out, or just search YouTube. That's part one. So there's more of it, but I got to admit, it was pretty funny. So shout out to Richard Belzer for the laughs. And then the other thing I find funny is Bill Sheft, who says he was there for his last breath, who said his last words were, "Fuck you, motherfucker." The thing I find suspicious is Bill Sheft just had his birthday 4 days ago. And 4 is the number of death. Again, it comes from the Far East. When you spell out, or when you say the number 4 in the Far East, Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, 4 is pronounced the same as death. So Manly P. Hall, who I learned about this code of letters and numbers from, he also has a book about numbers and talks about how 4 is the number of death. So go figure that Bill Sheft, he was there in his last moment just 4 days after his birthday. And in a way, I'm just thinking like, okay, is this some kind of sick joke? Is the reason he said, "Fuck you, motherfucker," because he knew he'd poisoned him or something? Again, I think a lot of these celebrities know what happens. You know, when your number's up, your number's up. And I think sometimes to extend, you know, their line or buy some more time, they might have to help bring about somebody else's number. So be nice if we could get Bill Sheft on. Sometimes I wonder if we hadn't been censored a gazillion times, and when we had all the momentum, 6, 7 years ago, before they started deleting us every other month, if we would have gotten to be a massive YouTube channel and could command the attentions of the Bill Shefts of the world to have them come on and answer. But you'll just never know. So anyway, thank you to everyone who does share the work. If only the people with the larger platforms who aren't censored shared the work, it would be very helpful. But and you know what? Even Sam Tripoli, who I've had on twice, I talked to him behind the scenes through email about this comedian death pattern, because somebody who was a comic friend of his died by the 44-64 pattern. And I think it just creeped him out too much, because we had a conversation going back and forth, and then it just dropped off. And I was actually hoping we could just do a show on talking about dead comedians in the code. And I don't know, for whatever reason that didn't happen, but I think it should have. At least he's warned, he knows about it. So if he ever has anyone coming by like, who knows, Bill Sheft with the cracked bottles already, maybe he'll say, you know what, I'll take a sealed one. I'll take a sealed one today. So anyhow, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your day, True Seeker. And I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is President's Day. Jimmy Carter and hospice care. We'll see what happens with old Jimmy. He's up there. So anyhow, till next time.